Hello, lovely friends. How are you? I am just using a little bit of new software and I'm waiting for Instagram to connect. So give me a couple of seconds, my lovely friends, and I've got a bit of a chat. Something I think it's working now. Bizarre. Yay. We'll find out. Lovely ones, I thought I would do a couple of sessions called Lunchtime Learnings with Lucy, basically some myth busting around weight loss. So I haven't actually announced it, so I don't even know if anyone's on. I'm assuming that it's a public holiday. Most of you are probably off doing something fun, not sitting in your office myth busting weight loss, but that's quite okay. Lovely ones, the thing there's so many weight loss myths because there are people out there who are wanting to make money from you, and that's the whole point of that's their modus operandus. So one of the things that we want to do is just give you, at Real Life Medicine, our quest, if you like, is to help women who have done a diet under the sun achieve optimal health, long-lasting weight loss through, improving your metabolism, managing your mindset so that you can have more energy and just live your life and have fun and have vitality and stop, living life on the sidelines. So the thing is, of course, lots of people want that. Of course they do. Why wouldn't you? But there are people out there selling you a solution that is not going to give you that. And this is the issue, the long lasting issue with the weight loss industry. And whilst Dr. Mayer and I, are, in that industry, I'm not here to give you weight loss at any cost. I'm not here to give you some bullshit diet that is not going to give you long lasting weight loss. We know that as far as the health of a human goes, the up and down is actually more harmful. So the first thing I wanted to do with weight loss myth busting, and please pop anything in the comments. I want this to be interactive. The first thing to know is that there are actually three phases. Three phases. So most people, when they decide they want to lose some weight or address their health concerns, they're on this upward trajectory of weight gain. And that's usually what happens. You're going up and up and up, and you get to a threshold and you go, oh my God, what's going on? So the first bit is actually to stop the upward gain. We need to stop that. So sometimes that is the first thing that happens, but people perceive it as a failure because they're not losing straight away. So step one, stop the upward momentum. Two is to lose weight. Step three is to maintain that weight loss. So the two bits where people, I guess their expectations aren't always met is step one. So you have to actually stop the gain. Then you have the loss. Then you have the maintenance. So the maintenance is a whole active phase. It's not just stopping what you are doing for weight loss. Like this is and it's interesting. So if you're using a purely medical model to manage overweight or obesity, then you might be looking at things like use medications and drugs. And as we're not versed at that, but that is not our it's not our wheelhouse. It's our wheelhouse is looking at lifestyle changes that can be sustainable and maintainable, more importantly. So the maintenance is an active phase. It's not just stopping what you were doing or changing what you were doing in the weight loss phase. It's a whole active phase. So that's the first thing I wanted to address. The second thing is some of the tools that people are given as though they are helpful. And one we're going to talk about today is shakes. So weight loss shakes, very popular, very, very enticing because they provide this what our brain perceives to be as a good solution. They're quick, they're easy, they're pretty cheap, they seem to work. What could go wrong? Well, lots, sadly. And this is where the problem lies, because they are cheap. So why are they cheap? And they're cheap because of the ingredients that are in them. So make no mistake, weight loss shakes are an ultra-processed food product. They're not called that. They're called a meal replacement. They're not a meal replacement. A meal is, food, whole food that's got protein, fat, some carbs, vitamins, fiber, minerals, flavor, texture, taste. All of those things are what a meal is. These are just an ultra processed food dressed up to help you lose weight, and they don't work. If they worked, then that's basically what we would be eating for the rest of our lives. But nobody goes to a restaurant and sits down and orders a lady shake. Hi, I'd like chocolate lady shake today, thanks. No one does that because it's not a meal. It is not even, honestly, it's not even a short-term solution because they are inherently terrible for our health. Now, as you know, at Real Life Medicine, we have a podcast. It's called the Real Health and Weight Loss Podcast. So Dr. Mary and I are intensely interested, not just in weight loss, but in your health first. And here's a quick secret. When you address the things that improve your health, the weight loss comes. So we can tackle the problem by focusing purely on the weight loss, okay? And that involves, things like shakes, counting, measuring, weighing, jumping on the scales 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. It's called a diet. 95 to 98% of them fail because they're focusing wrong. So the thing that we now know is that overweight or obesity it's a symptom of the underlying issue. The underlying issue is metabolic hormones or our metabolism. Okay. And when our metabolic hormones aren't balanced, so we've got too much insulin, too much leptin, then we slow our metabolism. We're not efficient with our fuel. We can't access our fuel. It leaves us tired, lethargic, hungry, and often developing illnesses like diabetes, type 2 diabetes, those sorts of things. When we focus on the cause, so underlying what is driving our metabolic hormones, and it's a combination. If anyone tells us one thing, they're wrong. It's a combination of things, but the two most prevalent things are our ultra-processed food environment and genetics, which is why, this is where our brains get confused, because you've got people out there that might be eating a whole pile of ultra processed food. You've got those people that eat food and they're still, thin as a rake. They may not be healthy though, and that's the difference. So we want to be looking at health, not thinness, as a marker of well-being. And the way we do that is to focus on beautifully whole foods. Humans are supposed to eat whole foods. We're supposed to chew. When we chew our food, so here's the thing, right? This is the way I like to think about it. Protein, and we use protein as the linchpin of all of our nutritional advice. Protein is actually pretty hard for us to digest, which may sound like a disadvantage, but it's not. When you think about it, you've got to chew your protein. Okay, protein is big, long chains of amino acids and polypeptides. We need enzymes that come and cleave. So we chew it in our mouth, it gets swallowed. We then have enzymes that come and cleave it all, make them all small. They then have to be uptaken through our small bowel, and then they get recreated into whatever it is that we need proteins for. which is, little secret, just about everything. Hormones, enzymes, muscles, bones, skin, all of these are proteins. So we need lots of protein. When we outsource the chewing, the cleaving, all of that to essentially a factory by having protein powders, all of that, people go, oh, it makes it easier to digest. But here's the thing, digesting the proteins takes a bit of energy, i.e. calories. So for me, I'm happy to chew my food and for then it to go into my stomach and my body to do all the hard work of making the enzymes and all of those things, rather than outsourcing that to a factory or to a blender. Think about it. What is a blender? We have to get energy to blend the food from the socket, from the electricity in the wall. Either the blender can do all the pre-chewing for us, or we could do it ourselves. So the only time that we ever suggest to people that they use protein powders are when, for whatever reason, they can't chew their own food or they can't absorb enough protein. And those usual things are things that people that have potentially had gastric sleeve surgery, sometimes people that are on weight loss injectable weight loss medications, or if you've got some, dental issues. And again, this is what often happens, particularly in elderly or infirm people. Those are the sorts of situations in which protein powders can be helpful. If you're wanting to lose weight, it's much better, so much better to chew your food than, turn this phone off, it's driving me nuts, than out to a factory. So that's the step one. Step two is all the stuff that comes with the shake. And if you look at the ingredients in shakes, often, how's this? Often the second ingredient is sugar. There's usually some sort of seed oils in there. There's emulsifiers, thickeners, all of the things that humans are not really supposed to eat, particularly long term. All the things that are harmful for our gut and our microbiome, which does not like processed food products. So in order to lose weight long term, and this is the bit that feels tricky, and the bit that the industry will play on, in order to lose weight long term, the thing you do to lose the weight is the same thing that you do to maintain it. So the tempting thing is for people to say, I've got a wedding coming up. I need to drop 5 kilos quickly. I'm just going to do shakes for a bit. That in itself is actually inherently harmful because of the ingredients that are in the shake that are bad for our health, but also we quite often rely on a extreme calorie deficit. And if we do that for long enough, okay, not just a day here or there makes no difference, but if you're doing it weeks at a time, then our metabolic rate slows down. So our metabolic rate is the rate in which the amount of calories, if you like, the amount of energy that we use to just fuel our body. It's the amount that we just fuel our body doing nothing. So lying around, not even reading a book, literally lying around, that is the greatest source of our calories that we use. So it takes a significant amount just to run the body, just to blink your eyes, just to beat your heart, just to make all of those enzymes that I was telling you about, just to create new cells, just to get your bowel moving, just for your lungs to breathe, just to create the mucus that lines our lungs, just to have your hair grow, just to replace your eyelashes. Can you see where I'm going here? There's a lot of stuff that our body just does automatically. All of that takes energy, nutrients, and nourishment. And when we deprive the body of those for long enough, it suffers. So what we want to do is go, okay, so what's the answer, Lucy? You're telling me all the problems. What's the answer? So the answer is to find a way in which you can nurture and nourish your body that is sustainable, that you can do forever. Now, here's the bit that gets tricky because our brain goes, what? I can't do this forever. It's too hard. So It's like anything when you first start. If you are learning a new language, who's tried to learn a new language here? When you're learning a new language, you you will find that it's hard at first. If you've never tried, you can, you can string a sentence together. Mi chiamo Lucia, my name is Lucy. I can learn that. But to then have a conversation, it's a whole different set of skills. So it's the same with any long-term health and weight loss journey. You can start off with short phrases that will get you by, but you want to learn the whole language. And that does take a little bit of time, but honestly, I can tell you it is so worth it. It is so worth it to get off the diet roller coaster, to learn a framework that means that looking after your health is easy, doable, something you can do long term, something that fits in with your whole family, and something where you're not relying on the BS of weight loss drugs, not weight loss drugs, weight loss shakes long term. Again, the weight loss medications, I am definitely not opposed to them. Okay, for many people, they are super helpful. However, they are one tool, that taking weight loss medications isn't enough to create a healthy person. Okay, a healthy person is a person who eats, whole foods, gives their body what they need, the nourishment that it needs. A healthy person is someone who sleeps well. A healthy person is someone who moves their body in a way that's sustainable for them. Okay, again, doesn't mean you need to do ultra marathon. In fact, I would potentially go to the point that that's not actually healthy, but that's another debate. A healthy person is one who has lovely connections with people. A healthy person is one that experiences the whole range of emotions. Okay, it's not just being happy all the time, because that's not real. What it is, it's about managing those emotions and working out how do you sit with, those uncomfortable feelings that that we don't like. Nobody likes them. How do we sit with them? How do we learn to manage them? How do we learn to moderate them in a way that doesn't just involve, eating processed junk food or drinking half a bottle of wine every time something goes wrong? All of those are the markers of a healthy person. So the reason I was prompted to chat about weight loss shakes today was that I was looking, there was a call out for an expert on weight loss for a blog, and they wanted people, that they basically wanted somebody to suggest the best shakes, how shakes can be helpful and all of those things. And I was going to reply, and then I just thought, honestly, I can't, because in my heart of hearts, they're not helpful. Okay, they are full of unhelpful, highly processed ingredients. And I think what they do is, the two industries that I abhor the most, processed food industry, who use wicked predatory marketing tactics and create intensely hyperpalatable food that is designed to make us overeat. That industry, and then diet culture, which is all about women's worth, is based entirely on what you look like and the size of your thigh gap. I hate that industry. Weight loss shakes bring those two together. So it is something for which I feel extremely strongly about. And it's not ever about the person who is using or buying or purchasing the shakes. It's never about them, because for you, again, you're the boss of you. You can do whatever you like. I'm never judging for that. It's about giving you informed advice so that you can make a decision that looks at all the avenues, not just what's written on the box or the promises in the ads, or the billboards, or those billboards are on buses now. It's not about that. It's about making really beautiful, informed choices. And the thing that I would say to you is, shakes are not your friend. They're like the bad boyfriend, promise they will deliver you nothing. They will deliver you heartache, body ache, and a big fat dose of insulin resistance usually. So, lovelies, think about that. Think about the fact that you can definitely lose weight by eating real food. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be super easy, and it's just about improving it every single day using our framework. As you know, we love to pick a protein, add some veggies. If the protein's lean, you add some fat, and you make sure that it tastes beautiful. So you add some flavoring, herbs, spices, salts to make it delicious, and the everyday food is amazing. All right, gorgeous ones. That's it for my lunchtime learning today. I hope this has been helpful. I don't know if the software has worked. I guess I will find out when I in this stream and see what's happened. All right, darling, take care. Have a beautiful day.